Corbin, Chair of the Board of Trustees at Lincoln University, called this meeting of the Board of Trustees to order at 9 a.m. on this 18th day of April, 2026. Trustee Lewis, will you lead us in prayer?
Absolutely. Let us pray. Gracious and eternal God, we gather with gratitude for the sacred trust placed in this Board of Trustees at Lincoln University. We thank you first and foremost for your enduring legacy of this institution, for the lives shaped within its walls. We ask that you would guide us as we seek to learn with humility, wisdom, honoring truth, and pursuing excellence in every decision. Empower us to liberate minds, futures, and removing barriers, expanding every opportunity, and advancing justice with courage and compassion. We ask that you would strengthen us to lead with integrity, with vision, and servant hearts, always mindful that our stewardship impacts generations to come. Last but not least, grant us the unity of purpose, clarity of thought, and boldness of spirit as we carry forward this mission. For it's in your miraculous, magnanimous, mighty, marvelous name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Trustee Lewis, for that wonderful prayer, and please do the roll.
Absolutely. Chair Corbin.
Present.
President Allen.
Present.
Trustee Archie.
Present.
Trustee Carney Nunez.
Present.
Trustee Cooks.
Present.
Trustee Dick.
Present.
Trustee Dunbar.
Oh, excuse me.
Trustee Garcia.
Present.
Trustee Hargrove.
Present.
Trustee Hook.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Present.
Trustee Jones Clement.
Present.
Trustee Jordan. Trustee Lydia Kirkland.
Excuse.
Trustee Kuhn.
Representative present.
Trustee Lancaster.
Here.
Trustee Levy.
Present.
Trustee Lawson.
Here.
Trustee Lewis here. Trustee Love.
Here.
Trustee Maddox.
Here.
Trustee May. Trustee Johnson O'Serum.
Here.
Trustee Parker. Excuse. Trustee Petty.
Here. What up?
There's always one. Trustee Ridley.
Present.
Vice Chair Rochester. Trustee Sebastro. Trustee Simmons.
Here.
Trustee Vaughn. Here. Trustee Walker.
Present. Present.
Okay. Trustee May. Got it. Okay. Trustee Bennett.
He's trying to log on.
Okay.
It'll be there just a minute.
Trustee Chambers. Trustee Sadler. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you tend to?
Yes. The agenda has been distributed to all members. Are there any corrections or proposed changes to the agenda? Hearing no corrections, the agenda is adopted.
Thank you. At this time, we will go to AALU remarks by President of AALU, Eric Vicos.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. Just wanted to provide a few updates to the board this morning in reference to some of our efforts. We continue to focus on time, talent, and treasure. Those are our three main things that we focus on, and I wanted to just share some updates of things that have occurred and some things that are upcoming. During the CIAA, we were able to support 350 students in the Baltimore City Public Schools. We will continue our focus next year primarily on the high school grades so that that can hopefully be a pipeline for Lincoln University. And we also provided over 100 Thurgood Marshall books to the students, and we went and read with them. Our programs committee has been doing work. We held a Women's Month program where we focused on AI and education and HBCU accreditation. It was a great program, and we're continuing our efforts this year to first start a program for men. And so we will be having a session in June of 2026 focused on males in education. Our membership committee has done various activities as far as insurance and retirement planning sessions, and this is open to all members. We also were on campus on April the 8th, where we interacted with graduating seniors. This is a way that we get their contact information so we can stay in touch with them as they become new members of the AALU. So we were able to obtain 187 students' information. And on May the 2nd, during reunion weekend, we will have our life membership reception immediately following our general body meeting, where we will recognize approximately 15 new life members. And next, the Ways and Means Committee. We are having various activities. The one that I really want to highlight for you is our Golf Invitational on July 24th, 2026. I do ask you to check our website at aalupa.org. And for the Golf Invitational, it's specifically /golf. I am pleased to share with you that we also have started a Links to Leadership program for young people who are interested in golf, and we're trying to help them understand the benefit of playing golf and that a lot of business decisions are made on the golf course. So this is an opportunity that we have for students at Lincoln, and we are partnering with the Office of Career Services. I would say to you that all of these activities are engagement activities, and at each one of these activities, we encourage alum to give. We are continuing to focus on increasing alumni giving. On March 25th, we did hold a meeting with all presidents, and based upon some information that we received from Institutional Advancement, our efforts at the CIAA, we did see a modest increase with alumni giving, but that is still a work in progress. These are just some pictures from some of the activities that I actually highlighted in my comments. This one to the right is really about Links to Leadership, and it is a golf program, and we're trying to link that to our Golf Invitational to increase sponsorship and support of our young people. That concludes all of my updates for this morning, and thank you very much for the opportunity to share.
Thank you for sharing. Really appreciate it. At this point, I want everyone to refer to the conflict of interest statement. You all reviewed it. Just keep that top of mind. I am not going to read it at this time. And I'll move right to my chairman's report. So a couple things. CIAA luncheon was epic. Every year at CIAA, we have a luncheon. We invite individuals to the luncheon. We target people that have high worth to come to the luncheon. This particular year, we had a particular individual, Omar Kareem, who was a Howard graduate, that just closed a $1.5 billion contract. He sat with us, offered a scholarship on the spot for a Lincoln student, full pay scholarship for a year, which we greatly appreciated. We introduced him to the foundation, and the foundation is now talking with them about bringing him on the foundation. He set up a visit to the campus. I think no plans to set up a visit to the campus and wants to get more engaged. He was quite impressed with the Lincoln story. Dr. Allen did a phenomenal job of laying out who Lincoln University is. And the meeting, we had a number of high worth individuals. He started it off, and then we had individuals that offered up internships. We got 2 internships out of that luncheon, and we got people really engaged. So when Harry is talking about having these meet and greets, these dinners in different cities, please set some of them up. Because if we sit in front of the right people, you know, they'll pour into the university. At CIAA, attended the alumni party, said a few words, watched people karaoke. And Chief, when you see Chief, tell Chief, let him know, he has some karaoke skill. Yes, you won't. And then, the interviews for the board slots that open, I attended 7 of the 9 interviews on that. Attended the marketing committee meeting. JP, is very enthusiastic in his marketing committee meetings. If you have an opportunity, you might want to just jump in one, just to kind of get a feel for what's going on from a marketing perspective. And then the foundation, I met with the foundation president. We set up a cadence now. We're meeting once a month just to talk about synergies and everything. So Kwame is very open to that. I didn't realize, we set up a 9 a.m. meeting. He's on the West Coast. So he was up at 6 a.m. I told him, my bad. I said, you should have said something, but going forward, we'll set it up at the right time. The Tick Coleman luncheon, I want to thank Trustee Jones Clement, Trustee Carney Nunes. I had a chance to actually meet her mother, and also Trustee Levice for attending. And Dr. Allen, I want to thank you for all the support at that luncheon. I was blessed with the Tick Coleman Award, which Trustee Larson has gotten as well. But it was quite an honor. If you guys don't know who Tick Coleman is, you really should understand the man. He was legendary. And I talked about Tick Coleman, not and how important Tick Coleman was to Lincoln University in my address. I didn't talk about Van Corbin because I stand in the shadow of a Tick Coleman. So I was honored to get that award. And then yesterday, of course, we had the plethora of meetings, starting with bills and property and business affair, ed policy, academic affairs, student affairs, trustees agrees nominations, and yesterday was not over yet. And then we had the board dinner yesterday evening. That dinner last night, with the board members only, was the first time that I've been on the board that we actually sat and had candid discussion. And it was handled very professional, and I was, re-impressed with the quality of this board. And that's something that we need to put into a cadence. So we do it every so often because it was just refreshing. And I got comments from board members telling me how refreshing it was. That basically concludes my report. There's another piece. There are 4 individuals that this is their last meeting. And I want to make the time now to recognize them. The first one is our student trustee, Trustee Hargrove. Will you come up? Trustee Hargrove, thank you so much for all you've done, your leadership. I can't imagine me being at your age doing what you're doing. I'm so impressed with you. I think this board is impressed with you. Just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
The next person is a trustee from the class of 1985. Trustee Johnson, would you come up? Yes. Trustee Johnson, thank you so much. We'll turn this way. Thank you so much for your input to this board. We appreciate, Trustee Johnson was a alumni chapter president. I don't think all of you know that. National alumni president. I stand corrected. National alumni. So for Trustee Johnson, you pour into us. We appreciate everything you've done for us, and congratulations.
So much.
This next person, class of 76, and the parliamentarian, I have to tell you that I talked to this individual, Henry Lancaster, going on.
That's like it.
The second. Come on, Henry.
Real old.
I probably talked to Henry, four or five times. He's the only person I talked to probably more is Dr. Allen. If something pops up, Henry makes me aware of it.
Yes.
I get a text the second something pops up, you know, or an email. And if it's something of great, you know, importance, I get a phone call. And when I return the call, you know, Henry finds a way to at least let me know when he's available. We talk that same day.
Yeah.
And Henry, you've been an invaluable person. I know from speaking with Gerald, and I saw you at Gerald's party, so I know how much you meant to his administration. But for me, you've been a rock and it's greatly appreciated, and I want to thank you.
Oh.
And we have one more, he texted me that he's en route, so we might be able to catch up, or I might just have to give him his at the end of the week. Okay, so that is the end of my report and my plaque distribution for this moment. So I turn it over to President Allen for the president's report.
Good morning.
Morning.
I also want to just echo thank you to the trustees who are cycling off. Henry in particular, and I, and Kevin and Bob. Gerald went through a lot together, so we're gonna miss you, but probably won't be that far either, so. Every goodbye ain't long, that's the Jamaican saying, right? So you can advance to the next page. So just wanna highlight a couple of things for you and then have a couple of people who will just bring you up to date. So first of all, if you turn the next page, we have, as you may have seen in an announcement, we have 3 new leaders on campus. Are y'all here? So Harry Stinson has finally dropped that AD off his name. And taken on the Vice President for Advancement and Executive Director of the foundation, so we want to thank him. I said in the press release that I am so fortunate that I had so much depth that I didn't have to go out and find new people to fill these jobs because these folk have just really been stepping up. Second is Dr. Melvin Finner. Y'all want to step up so people can give you a hand? Well, he ain't his own title, he's digital information officer. He worked to take me into the 21st century. And Josh Dean, who was interim athletic director when Harry felt he needed to go out and find himself in the world before he came back. And has continued in leadership during Harry's return. And at the moment was just ready and poised to step up as athletic director. And also over recreational services. So can we give them? All right, appreciate y'all. Just wanted to show you this. We can advance. Wanted to do next one, an update. So as you know, Reverend Barber, who had been already booked to be commencement speaker and seemed like the whole world was excited because they were trying to come to commencement. But unfortunately, he had a personal issue come up so bad. And had to actually postpone this visit. So luckily for us, Dr. Steve Perry, who is the founder of Capital Preparatory Schools in New York and Connecticut, graciously stepped up. Many of you may remember, we offered him an honorary degree back in 2022. And interestingly, 2022, he was to be the commencement speaker. That was the year that Josh Shapiro won governorship and was coming to be the commencement speaker. So Steve graciously stepped aside so that the governor could give the address. And so just so happens that I was talking to him last week and asked him if he would step in, and he was very gracious and immediately told me yes. And so we are grateful to him. And if you're here at commencement, please thank him for just being a good part of the Lincoln family. And just wanted to remind you that we have 4 honorary degree recipients One is posthumous, and that's Dr. William Boykin. Senator Denneman, who used to be among our ranks. He seems to be really excited about this opportunity for him, so it will be great to celebrate that. And then Renault C. Makote and Suso, and I'm not seeing in Como. So they are from the lovely and great class of 1981. Both coming over from South Africa. We are excited. They have done great things in the world since leaving Lincoln, and so it will be really great to welcome them back home. So they will be here with us in a couple of weeks. So that's our commencement lineup. Okay, you can, I can advance. Next, we have Mr. Cody Gibbs. Cody, if you come, and he has his own presentation, but this young man has a perfect 4.0 GPA. One of the valedictorians graduating on May 3rd. I met Cody maybe the first week of school when he was here. We also should say his mama has just been wonderful. So any of you who are part of the New York chapter at the last banquet, somehow she ended up being a honorary alum because she was there serving food like she went to Lincoln. They have a great family, and I'm so proud to see this young man just reach this and reach it at the highest grade. And so wanting him to just give you a little introduction into who he is. And so Mr. Cody Gibbs, class of 2026. It's your floor now.
Thank you so much.
Give him the mic.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be here this morning. So my name is Cody Gibbs. I'm a senior health science major. And I've been asked to just share a little bit about my Lincoln experience over the last 4 years. So I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York. And if you're from New York, there's an ongoing debate about what's the real New York versus upstate. Clearly on the map, it's not upstate, but you know, that's where I'm from. And so in choosing Lincoln, I wanted to go to an HBCU up north. So, you know, it was between Morgan, Howard, Bowie. And I toured Howard and Lincoln. I loved my Lincoln tour so much, so I included a picture. This is from November 2021. My first time here, and you can tell, you know, by the pose that, you know, I loved my tour and I was just embracing this school as the one for me. So my freshman year, I focused more on my academics. However, my sophomore year, I was chosen as the man of the year. This is a role, basically a role model for my peers here on campus. I hosted mental health events mainly for the men, but for the campus at large. And I just highlighted one of my events. It was called Now What? And basically, I helped health science majors to understand careers that they could do after graduating from Lincoln. And so I included some pictures here. As you can tell, you know, I had the afro back then, and what you'll notice is that every year my hair gets even lower and lower. So I can relate to that. I've held a number of jobs here at Lincoln. I worked in the writing center for a semester, and I was a peer educator intern. But the job that I've had the most is a CA. So basically, we are the first responders in the residence hall, and we maintain a healthy environment for the students. So I've had this job since January 2024, so 5 semesters. And last year I was chosen as the CA of the year. And I just included a few of my boards, and my favorite event was a laundry event that I had. You all may not know, but students don't like to take their clothes out the washers, you know, as soon as they're done. So I hosted an event to kind of teach respect, you know, in the laundry room. I'm also a member of the Quiz Bowl team here at Lincoln. We compete every year in Los Angeles in a competition called the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. And Honda gives grants to the winners every year. So these are some pictures from my sophomore and junior year. You may recognize a few of the members on the team, Drake Smith, Isaiah Johnson, and Pujin from last year. They all graduated in the class of 2025. So yeah, this is, honestly one of the best kept secrets, at Lincoln University. And just to highlight it some more, so Lincoln has had a team since 1990, and Honda gives grants the better that you do in the competition. So you'll notice 2024 and 2025, we placed top 8. So we got $15,000 each of those years for the school. And since 1990, Honda has awarded Lincoln University over $100,000 in grants. In 2024, I was White House HBCU Scholar. This was one of the highlights of my time here at Lincoln. This was an award and both a role. So I was invited to attend the National HBCU Week event. And President Biden was the address speaker. So he spoke to us. The bottom left, there's a picture that we took after the event. And then he spoke to us, as a group. So this was an amazing experience. And I have a picture with the other student that attended and Dr. Allen, as well, always, willing to support our students. I've been the president of a few organizations on campus. So this is our pre-health organization on campus. And we host events basically to foster growth in students that want to go into pre-health fields. And so last year I was president, we had 59 members. This year I'm the vice president, we have 55. So it's a very large organization. And I can speak all day about the things that I've learned leading an organization of this size. I also created my own organization. It's called the A-Team. We're under Dr. Williams and the Lincubator. And basically it's an academic assistance organization. And we help out students in all subjects, math, science, English. We host events. We're actually having a group study night next Monday to give students some extra help, because exams are next week. So this is, one of the things I'm very proud of. And I included our GPA from last semester. It was a 3.9. And sorry, that was last year. And then last semester, it was a 3.75. This is recently. So as I mentioned, I'm on the quiz bowl team. So we traveled to Los Angeles this past week. We got back Tuesday night. And we placed in the top 16. So we got $8,500 for the school. And I also presented my research at the annual undergraduate research fair. And just yesterday, I was awarded the President's Award and the Outstanding Health Science Major Award for having the highest GPA in my major. And now, in a few weeks, I'll be graduating. It's crazy just to say that I've come so far. And so I brought along a little piece of paper. I like to write my goals. I believe that if you don't write a goal, it's just smoke in the air. It's not real. So I brought a copy of the goal that I wrote December 11th, 2022, to graduate with a 4.0 GPA. And so, 8 semesters later, here I am. So all I can say is look at God and look at Lincoln. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. You guys have any questions?
I have a quick question. Quick question for you, Cody. It's such a pleasure. Congratulations, man. I'm also very proud of you. Thank you for representing Lincoln the way that you are. Do you remember the GPA you had coming out of high school? Is the first question. The second question is, what made you fall in love with that Lincoln University tour?
Yes, so out of high school, I had a 100.07 GPA. So it was, my high school was out of 100, and then I took AP courses, so it was a little bit above that. And you said why I chose Lincoln?
No, tell me about the tour. What was special about it?
Oh, the tour. I mean, it was just a beautiful day. Like it was the fall, it was November. It was, I don't know, the sun was shining, the birds were flying. It was a nice day.
Great vibe.
I'm trying to, it was a smaller tour. It was me, my family, and I think one other family. So it was really, intimate. And I just felt the family atmosphere. Yeah.
Amazing. amazing. Thank you.
Cody, first of all, thank you, and you're very impressive, young man. But what's next?
Thank you for that question. I want to be a perfusionist. They work in the operating room, operating the heart-lung machine during open heart surgery. And so I've applied to 3 master's programs. It's a very competitive program. So I applied to Rush University in Chicago. I'm on a wait list for that school, and I was denied from South Carolina and SUNY Upstate. And so this was kind of unforeseen, given all the things that I've done at Lincoln. But we don't stop, we keep going. And so I've applied to a number of roles in the hospitals in my hometown, just to stay busy over the summer. But the goal is to attend grad school.
Yeah, so just food for thought, because I have a daughter that is, a 4.0 student as well, coming out of Hopkins. She's having the same experience you are because of the current climate. So just stay steadfast to your goals, write your goals, and stay steadfast to it, because you will get there, and you'll get there faster than you think.
Thank you.
Guaranteed.
Appreciate that.
Cody,
Thank you.
while we love Lincoln, and, just wanted you to, next, sorry.
So Brenda, before you move on,
Go.
Cody,
Oh.
I happen to work in healthcare. I work at the University of Cincinnati Health System. And if you're interested in coming to Cincinnati for the summer, you let me know.
Let's go.
More tears. So Mel, I wanted, my new chief digital information officer, did I get it right?
Innovation officer.
Innovation officer.
Innovation.
So yesterday we had a great, presentation of the master plan. And we said within that master plan is also a master energy plan. I challenged Mel to give me a 5-year plan for IT. So the goal is to really not just, raise funds and leave Lincoln as healthy as I can with regard to the endowment. But we've been focused on infrastructure, largely defined buildings, and we're getting great traction there. Turn my attention to heat and hot water, which is really very important. But the other piece of infrastructure that we really have to make sure we continue to move is information technology. And so when Justin McKenzie joined me when I first got here, he moved us from the Stone Ages to, where we are today. And now Mel has picked that up, and he's gonna talk to you about what we're looking towards for the next 5 years. So, there.
All right, thank you. Wow. All right, so, I'm not sure if everybody in here has had a chance to interact with me before. Certainly there's people online that I've not had a chance to talk to before. So I thought maybe it'd be important to just give a quick introduction of who I am and kind of where I've come from. So I've worked at a number of institutions. This is actually the 5th university that I've worked at. I'm also an adjunct instructor with Southern New Hampshire University. So I've got a number of credentials. I won't necessarily read all of those, but it just lets you all know that, I've been around a little bit, seen a few experiences, and I kind of want to bring some of those things here to Lincoln University. And like Dr. Allen mentioned, try to ensure that we are ready for the next evolution of technology in the world, and at Lincoln especially, using the foundation that was set before I joined there. So I'll talk a little bit about what the Chief Digital Innovation Officer title means, because you all may be thinking, oh, that sounds like a lot. What is that, right? How does that compare to a CIO? I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. We'll talk about the foundation, kind of what we've accomplished just over the last year in 2025. A lot of things happened in 2025. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we'll talk about the strategic plan, the 5-year IT strategic plan, how that aligns with the Lincoln University plan. And then kind of give you all an idea of where we are as a department, right? It's one office, it's one leader. We're not breaking things up. So we'll kind of jump into that as well. All right, so why the title? Why Chief Digital Innovation Officer? Well, when you think about IT, a lot of times you think about, like Dr. Allen mentioned, the infrastructure, right? Is the internet working? Does my computer turn on? Does the microphones and speakers work, right? It's a lot of those foundational things, right? That's a lot of the sort of run the business, run the university, keep the lights on, daily operation type things. A lot of the back end behind the scenes. My goal as innovation officer is, let's take us to the next level and use IT as an institutional strategy, right? We all know there's not a whole lot we can get done without technology. We've all got smart devices in our pockets, laptops and things like that. So now we really got to start looking at how do we continue to transform Lincoln University with the technology tools that are available. And like I mentioned earlier, just make sure that we don't get left behind, because the digital divide continues to increase, not just amongst individuals, but amongst universities as well. So we want to make sure that we stay competitive and that technology enables us to be competitive in a lot of ways. So I'll pause for a second, or, kind of get off the strategic part for a second and just talk about what all we completed in 2025. So this is maybe the third or fourth time I've had a chance to present to the board. Usually I like to give some metrics of kind of what we've done. So I want to give you all some numbers. So in 2025, we handled just over 8,700 requests and incidents throughout that 12 months, right? So you can think that's several hundred every month that, constant requests and things that we're getting. I'm proud to say, based on our metrics, that we resolved 95% of those, right? So that's still in the 8,700 range. Are we perfect? Not quite. Would we like to be? Probably, but I think it's hard to get 100% of everything resolved, because sometimes problems are a little more complicated than not, and so it takes some additional time. But 95% I would say is a pretty good number. 1.6 days is about the median time that it took us to resolve issues as well. So we know sometimes that doesn't solve, everybody's problem quickly. There's still that 5% of people whose things may not have gotten resolved. 1.6 is the median, so maybe there are some days where things take us 2 or 3 days, maybe a week, but on average, 1.6 days is our resolution time there. Also, last year, we upgraded the campus network on main campus and our Philly location at SACE to be 10 gig speeds. So when you think about it, you're going down the interstate, it's 2 lanes. Let's say 95 is at 2 lanes, right? It's rough, okay? You expand that to 4 lanes or 6 lanes, now you can flow a little bit easier. That's essentially what we did on the network side, on the internet side for our campus. So now we've got extra capacity to do the innovative things like additional research, and we'll talk in a minute about the Keystone Wren organization that we've joined. But essentially, we just expanded the capabilities that we have from a data connection perspective. We also upgraded over 25 classrooms, roughly 25 classrooms between both campuses. And there's more upgrades on the way. I think yesterday it was mentioned about some of the Title III supplement funds that we've had and how we've been using it. That's an exact or direct outcome of those funds, is getting more of our classrooms to be on a 21st century standard, where you can have virtual sessions and you have your interactive touchscreens for the faculty to, write on the board and have other students interact with them. We also upgraded our Lion Card system, which was a multi-pronged upgrade, if you will. So many of you received the new blue Lion Cards. Those have a chip in it where if you're given access to a building, or if you want to go make a purchase, you're tapping that card now to make those purchases or enter those buildings. Along with that came mobile dining ordering. So students can pull up the mobile dining app, order their food, and then go pick it up from Chick-fil-A, as opposed to standing in line. Because typically at the start of the semester, the Chick-fil-A line is like most Chick-fil-A lines, right? It's wrapped around the building, until they use up all their Lion Cash, and then, they stop buying Chick-fil-A. So I always jokingly say Chick-fil-A takes all of our students' money, but, it's all for a good cause, I suppose. But anyway, so mobile dining ordering, and then the next phase of that is actually going to be mobile credentials, which means instead of having a plastic card, you can actually use your phone to then tap onto the readers to enter buildings, to pay and all of that, and it will still use your Lincoln University credentials. So a lot of upgrades happen on that Lion Card system. Another thing last year was our Microsoft Teams phone migration. So we moved from an older Cisco sort of physical phone environment to Microsoft Teams, where now you can answer your work calls from your personal phone if you wanted to with the Teams app, from your laptop, basically anywhere that you have an internet connection, right? So we thought, very good next step evolution there, on the phone side. We also implemented a call tree, right? So we used to have a operator that would answer the 8,000 number. And if you can imagine that operator, that individual, if they need to take a restroom break, they need to take a lunch break, if they want to be out sick, who's answering the operator calls, right? Now there's a phone tree, you call 8,000. Right now, if you call, it's gonna say we're closed because most offices are closed, so you're not sitting there waiting for nothing. But you can choose the department that you want to go to, right? Like, again, 21st century phone systems. Lion Secure is a new cybersecurity framework that was introduced last year. We'll be wrapping that up this year, which basically just gives us 18 controls across different areas of cybersecurity. That one is pretty dense. If anybody's interested in cybersecurity, let's have a conversation. We'll talk about where those controls take us. And then one highlight from last year was the HBCU symposium that we hosted, the first national HBCU symposium on digital innovation in teaching and learning. Was hosted right here at Lincoln University. We had area HBCUs join us. We had participants online. That was all funded through the CMC NTIA grant. And that was a really fun event where people were able to share the digital innovation that they're doing in their HBCUs. So that was 2025. I left a few things out, but those were the highlights, because again, it was a pretty busy year. All right, now let's dig into the strategic plan for a second. Everything in our IT strategic plan maps back directly to the university strategic plan. So we don't, again, with IT, we don't create things just because we like technology. We don't create things just because we think it's fun. Everything we do maps to a particular goal, a particular mission or item that the university sees as important. And we figure out how we as an IT organization can match that energy, so to speak. We have 5 pillars in the IT strategic plan. The biggest one is obviously, as you all know, cybersecurity and risk, right? Because in our strategic plan, we talk about how we want to reduce risk or at least manage it. So that's where that Lion Secure framework comes in, being able to manage evolving threats and be a little bit more proactive. And you will hear me say that over the next few years, we got to move from being reactive and how do we jump on the scene once something has happened, and how do we be proactive and avoid a lot of those situations. Our infrastructure modernization is another big one, right? We're always looking at how do we tweak our network just a bit to make it a little bit more scalable, a little bit more robust, a little bit more active. How do we ensure that our endpoint devices, and an endpoint device is simply a laptop or an iPad, printer, how do we make sure we're managing those efficiently? Joining Keystone REN. So Keystone REN is the Pennsylvania Research Education Network. So for those in the higher ed research space, every state has a research education network, meaning universities are able to connect to other campuses to use their high performance computers, use their data sets to sort of advance their research. We don't have high performance computing at that scale at Lincoln, but we don't necessarily need to, because we can join an organization like Keystone REN over the next few years and allow our researchers to connect to Penn State, to connect to Pitt, to connect to Carnegie Mellon's research computing and high performance computing, so that then our faculty can enjoy the benefits of large scale research, right? For a fraction of the cost and for a fraction of the team size that will be needed to do those things. Enterprise AI and governance, this is another big one. So we're working on finalizing our sort of inaugural set of AI guidelines and procedures for Lincoln University, just so that we can kind of put some guardrails around all the really exciting things that people are doing with AI. And again, we want to try to position Lincoln to be ahead of the curve over the next few years. And then, thinking about our core mission of our student success, we are working on a Slate integration or Slate implementation, which is a new CRM tool for recruitment. We'll have a data warehouse. We'll be using a smart plan program, which helps with degree audits and things like that. And a lot of these are to pull data together so that we're making data-informed decisions. We're not just going off of, oh, we think it might be nice to do this, or we think it might be a bad idea to do that. Instead, let's look at what the data tells us. Let's look at one source of truth so that when we're bringing Dr. Allen or bringing you all a report, we have like 99% confidence that that data is accurate and we're not all pulling data from different sources and hoping that it all lines up, right? So that's what that whole data warehouse and sort of institutional success is gonna bring us. And then the last one is thought leadership. So my goal is to assist the university in advancing the blueprint model, so to speak, right? So yesterday we learned about our marketing and communication team taking that, Lincoln as the blueprint. Well, when it comes to technology, we want Lincoln to be the blueprint. We want to step ahead of the game a little bit, position ourselves as a national leader like we did back in October with the symposium, and create a lot of those external partnerships. Because what I've seen over the years and other institutions as well is that the more visible you are, the more other entities ask you, hey, can we try this thing with your university? And in some cases, it's for free, right? Or extremely reduced in cost. So we want to be out there so that people then begin to seek us out and say, we want you all to try this new student success product, this new security product, whatever the case may be. All right, so just to kind of put some timelines on some of this stuff, and as you have with any plan, you can put those timelines in place, and then reality kicks in. You have an emergency here, some other priority there, and things kind of shift a little bit. But this is kind of where I'm hoping that we can go as a department. So by the end of this fiscal year, having the Lion Secure cybersecurity manual fully finalized. Some finalization of a few additional network re-architecture components. The unified endpoint management, having that live on about 900 devices on campus by the end of this summer. And the good thing about an endpoint management tool, and I'm not gonna nerd out too much, I try to keep it high level, but a lot of times you'll know, your IT folks, they're just running around campus, touching this device, touching that device, and that takes a lot of time and effort, right? But if we can get to where we are sort of sitting in a central location and you say, oh, I need Adobe on my computer. Okay, give it 10 minutes and we just sent that to your computer and it shows up, right? It's like magic. It's not really magic. There are tools out there that do this, for us. So we're going to get a lot more efficient and effective with it. And I'll show you in a minute about how innovation and sort of strategic operations line up and kind of help each other. Also by the end of this fiscal year, those AI guidelines I talked about, we're hoping to have those out there. And our Slate CRM go live may get pushed into the fall, maybe late fall a little bit, just because of some of the turnover that was mentioned yesterday, but we're going to keep pushing on that. And then over the next, we'll say 3 to 4 years between 27 and FY 30, 31, we're looking at having that data warehouse available with AI-powered analytics, because we know AI reigns supreme. It's not to replace anybody, but it's to help enable the technology, help enable our thought processes, right? That Keystone Ring membership that we talked about, that should be live and active. The CDIO and CTO leadership model is what we're shooting for over the next 2 to 3 years, where, we have the strategy that's, somebody pushing the strategy, and also having a person that has their thumb on the pulse, so to speak, for all of the daily operations and technical needs. Right now, that's me, which is great, because it allows me to stay connected to both. Cybersecurity is very important, so we're hoping to get a cybersecurity director, or at least some level of a cybersecurity analyst that is dedicated full-time to that over the next few years. Expanding our Wi-Fi is going to be a really big deal, as always. The foundation for Wi-Fi has been laid, and it's very robust, but we got to keep up, because there are more and more devices coming to campus. They're getting more sophisticated. Also, AI workflow automation is one of our goals. Our SACE data center right now is very small. We're hoping to optimize that and potentially even expand it. The location of SACE being in Philly is a very prime location. If we can figure out how to use that space to support others within the Philadelphia area from a data center perspective, I think will be a really good direction to go in. And then again, having, Lincoln recognized for a technology model, having our ERP optimized, and that thought leadership. All right, so I mentioned earlier about, putting in one tool to try to make things more efficient. So it's innovative to say, we're going to put in a endpoint management tool that gives a portal for people to pull software on their own, right? What that does for us is create operational efficiency. So strategic operations always create the runway for bold innovation and vice versa. as you free up your operations, you have more time to be innovative. So when we look at the things that are quote unquote innovative for our campus, that leads over into how do we enhance our operations, right? Our service desk is already at a 95% resolution rate. We've already got a lot of infrastructure things that are going in place. Now that we've got some things that are getting sort of on autopilot, that gives us the opportunity to be a lot more innovative in what we're doing. But again, it's still one team, one office, one leader, so to speak, Office of IT. We'll be doing a little bit of both. And, as quoted in the press release, I am definitely honored that Dr. Allen entrusted me to take OIT to the next level. And that we've got such a solid foundation to launch from. And at the end of the day, I'm just excited to see what we're able to do next. I know we've got a lot of buy-in from those around campus. Everybody's constantly asking, hey, can I get this tool? Can I get that tool? We have to make sure that we're not buying tools just because we want tools. But at the end of the day, I'm here, our team is here to assist the university with making those sound and appropriate decisions on the technology that we put in place. So with that, I'll pause.
Yeah, so thank you so much. That was very thorough. We greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna ask the people at the break, they have questions that you address the questions. If you could record the questions and the response for us.
Yep.
IT guy, they do that. So that we all are privy to the questions and answers.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
all right.
Report. Now, I thought it was important because we spend a lot of money every year on IT. And so it's important, I think, for you all to know that we're not just spending dollars, but we know that there is some strategic direction to how we are investing those dollars. And so we are looking towards the next 5 years, so it's clear how we're spending millions of dollars.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, you actually hit on a question I wanted to ask, Mr. Chairman. The IT is like a utility now. You don't have it, you're not functioning. But unfortunately, there is no regulation in terms of how you can control your IT costs. My question is, have you at least done an analysis over a 5-year period of what the actual cost of IT has been, personnel, software, hardware, so we can understand the progression in increase to prepare for what's coming?
So we're in that process now. We have a group that's using analytics to look at costs across the board. So he's working with Mel on IT. Mel has done a great job in looking at redundancy, and earlier when we were going through our exercise, 5 million, Mel found the most because some of it was one time from the cyber incident we had, but basically redoing some contracts, and we're going even further, try to understand how to be more efficient in what we're using. So in September, we'll be able to tell you what that analysis has shown us across the board. But definitely IT is one of those areas where we know we can see savings and we can actually manage the more efficient. Yeah. And that's the data governance piece is about too, stopping people from just buying stuff. Because that's what happens, they can buy stuff. Or someone offering you something for free and you don't know that the cost is gonna kick in at some point. So we get sucked into that all the time. But, Mel's on the job, so thank you.
Mel, if you could stick around, I think a couple of people have seen this question.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be here all day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. And at this point, we'll turn it over to Wilburn Reserve, the treasurer's report.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm going to share with you the treasurer's report, which is also in your packets. It has got 3 sections. The first section is about cash, comparing March 31, 2025 to March 31, 2026. As you can see, those numbers are really consistent. March 31, 2025, we had 1.7 million, and March 31, 2026, we had 2.3 million. The second section is really reflecting our bonds, debt that the investor has. I will highlight a section there that says the new residence hall, where we just spent about 11 million or paid 11 million so far for the construction activities that are happening on the new residence hall. Then the last section is really the investments. I will highlight the Bank of America endowment as of March 31, 2025, where we had 51.5 million compared to March 31, 2026, which is 54 million. That's a net change of 5% over that 1 year period, or a 2.6 change. That concludes the treasurer's report.
Have you any questions for Mr. Waziri? Okay, we'll continue to move forward. I think at this point, I'm gonna, before we go to the standing committees, saw individual come in the room that wasn't here when I gave out the other awards. James Jordan, would you come up? We want to thank you. This is your last meeting. We want to thank you for your service. Was a person who nominated me for this board. I've known him for a long time. When he was just coming into this university. So I'm very proud of you. You're a good friend. This individual calls me just to check on me. He's one of the few people in my entire life that calls to say, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing?" You know, which is it's incredible because nobody else calls just to check on me, but everybody else calls me, we have a conversation. They ask me, how's it going? He calls just to check on me. So I thank you, my friend. You know, you're a great friend, and I thank you so much. And thank you for your service. Thank you. So at this point, we're gonna move to the standing committees. We'll start with the investment committee. Is Wilburn, are you standing in for Jose? I think Dennis is under that.
Yep.
Who is?
Dennis Fisher. I'm on Zoom.
Okay, could you give us an update on the investment committee in the meeting?
Yes. So good morning, everyone. My name is Dennis Fisher, and I am the vice chair of the investment committee. In my full-time role, I am the chief financial and risk officer at Longwood Gardens, and I have been with Longwood for nearly 33 years. Trustee Sebastro is unable to attend the meeting today, so he asked me to give the investment committee report. The committee met via Zoom on Tuesday, April 14th. Our first business included a presentation from our investment managers at Bank of America. The Lincoln University endowment was at 52.2 million at the end of March, which was down 1.1% net of fees for the quarter and slightly behind the benchmark of negative 0.46%. Since inception, however, which was October 2023, the portfolio has returned 12.92% net of fees. The Lincoln University Title III account is at 1.8 million at the end of March. The portfolio performance was down 0.7% net of fees, which was ahead of the benchmark of negative 1.08%. In addition, we reviewed our asset allocation mix and reviewed a few potential changes, looking at private equity and possibly increasing our private equity exposure, but we did not make any decisions at this time. We then reviewed the foundation portfolio with the investment managers from Goldman Sachs. This portfolio was down 2.32% for the quarter ending March 31st. Since inception, May 2025, the portfolio has returned 8.73%. In addition, we reviewed the security-based margin loan, which is at 5.3 million at the end of March. The current interest rate on that loan is 5.18%, and 56,000 was paid down on the loan during the quarter. Finally, we discussed the proposal for the endowment spending rate at 5% for fiscal year 26-27. The committee is recommending moving forward with the draft resolution that you should have in front of you to approve 5% of the Bank of America Endowment Draw Fund, which will generate about 2.566 million of funds. So I will turn it back over to the chairman.
Will you read said resolution? Yeah.
The endowment spend resolution is as follows. Resolve that the Lincoln University Board of Trustees hereby approve a spending rate of 5% of the value of the endowment fund assets held by the University and Bank of America for 26-27.
Pleasure.
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Chair Corbin,
Yes.
President Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Archie,
Yes.
Trustee Carney Nunez,
Yes.
Trustee Cook,
Yes.
Trustee Dix. Okay. Trustee Dunbar is excused. Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Hargrove,
Yes.
Trustee Hooks,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Jones Clement,
Yes.
Trustee Jordan. Yes. Trustee Lydia Kirkland. Trustee Kuhn,
Yes.
Trustee Lancaster, Trustee Levis,
Yes.
Trustee Lawson,
Yeah.
Trustee Lewis, yes. Trustee Love,
Yes.
Trustee Maddox,
Yes.
May,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson O'Sara,
Yes.
Trustee Parker is excused. Trustee Petty,
Yes.
Trustee Ridley,
Yes.
Trustee Sebastro is excused. Vice Chair Rochester,
Yes.
Trustee Simmons,
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Walker,
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, next we'll move to business affairs. Trustee Larson.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. We held our meeting yesterday, which would have been April 17th. It was convened at 9:45 a.m. and we had a quorum. Some of the highlights that we focused on was review of the 25-26 financial performance as of March 31st and projections for June 30th, 2026. We also discussed the enrollment projections for fall of 2026, reflecting a 5.4% increase over this past fall of 2025. We then had a robust conversation centered on the review and the proposal for the operating budget for the 26-27 school year for $83.8 million. We discussed a proposal for an out-of-state discount pilot program as a recruitment initiative for fall of 26. The committee also approved resolutions that will be presented. Committee also discussed the importance of continuing to diversify revenue and leveraging the board's expertise in doing so. And we concluded our meeting at 10:48 a.m. yesterday.
Okay, you have some resolutions.
There's 3 resolutions, Mr. Chair. First resolution would be around the 26-27 operating budget. Whereas the university administration has submitted an operating budget of $83,799,000 for the fiscal year 26-27, and whereas the administration will reduce the submitted budget appropriately if the university does not receive the anticipated revenues from the state or the projected enrollment numbers. If a reduction is necessary, the administration will submit to the Board Business Affairs Committee a revised budget for informational purposes. Now therefore be it resolved that the 2026-2027 operating budget presented by the administration showing total expenses of $83,799,000 and the total revenues of $83,799,000 for a break-even operating margin is approved.
Okay, what is your pleasure?
On unreadiness.
Yes.
83 million.
What is your pleasure? It's been moved and properly second. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, let's go vote.
Chair Corbin,
Yes.
President Allen,
Yes.
Trustee Archie,
Yes.
Trustee Carney Nunez,
Yes.
Trustee Dick, Trustee Dunbar is excused. Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Hargrove,
Yes.
Trustee Hook,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Jones Clement,
Yes.
trustee Jordan,
Yes.
trustee Kirkland is excused, trustee Kuhn,
Yes.
trustee Lancaster,
Yes.
trustee Levis,
Yes.
trustee Lawson,
Yeah.
trustee Lewis, yes. Trustee Love,
Yes.
trustee Maddox,
Yes.
trustee May,
Yes.
trustee Johnson Osira,
Yes.
trustee Parker is excused, trustee Petty,
Yes.
trustee Ridley,
Yes.
vice chair Rochester,
Yes.
trustee Simmons,
Yes.
trustee Sebastian is excused, trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
trustee Walker.
Yes.
Trustee Cooks is a yes. I think you skipped me.
That's it. Trustee Cooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
Right, next, resolution is for the 2026-2027 capital budget. Whereas the university administration has submitted a capital budget of $20 million for the fiscal year 2027, 2026-27. That should be changed in that resolution. Funded through PA Department of General Services. And whereas the administration is authorized to make capital expenditures in the fiscal year 2026 through 2027, now therefore be it resolved is the intent of the Board of Trustees that the expenditures be made to improve the living and learning environment of the students of Lincoln University, and further resolved that the 2026-2027 capital budget presented by the administration for $20 million is approved.
Okay, you heard the resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move its adoption, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, please move to the vote.
Chair Corbin,
Yes.
President Allen,
Yes.
trustee Archie,
Yes.
trustee Carney Nunez,
Yes.
trustee Cook.
Yes.
Trustee Hicks.
It's early.
All right. Trustee Dunbar is excused, trustee Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Argo,
Yes.
trustee Hook,
Yes.
trustee Johnson,
Yes.
trustee Jones Clement,
Yes.
trustee Jordan,
Yes.
trustee Kirkland is excused, trustee Kuhn,
Yes.
trustee Lancaster,
Yes.
trustee Levis,
Yes.
trustee Lawson,
Yeah.
trustee Lewis, yes, trustee Love,
Yes.
trustee Maddox,
Yes.
trustee May,
Yes.
trustee Johnson Osira,
Yes.
trustee Parker is excused, trustee Petty,
Yes.
trustee Petty,
Yes, sir.
there we go, trustee Ridley,
Yes.
vice chair Rochester, trustee Simmons,
Yes.
Sebastian is excused, trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
trustee Walker.
Yes.
Chair, we have the majority.
Motion carried.
Last resolution. Approval of the out-of-state discount pilot program. Whereas Lincoln University of Pennsylvania is committed to advancing student access, strengthening enrollment, and promoting affordability. And whereas the university seeks to enhance its ability to attract and enroll qualified out-of-state students by reducing financial barriers. And whereas the administration has proposed a targeted discount pilot program to support these objectives for the upcoming academic year. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the implementation of the out-of-state discount pilot program for the 2026-2027 academic year, and be further resolved that the pilot program shall apply to newly admitted out-of-state undergrad students as defined by the administration. As be it further resolved that the administration is authorized to establish and implement program parameters, including a discount within an appropriate range of 10% to 20% per eligible student, or such amount as deemed appropriate to support enrollment objectives. And be it further resolved that the administration shall monitor the effectiveness of the pilot program and provide a report to the Board of Trustees with recommendations regarding continuation, modification, or expansion.
You've heard the resolution, what's your pleasure?
Move its adoption, Mr. Chairman.
Second. So moving properly second, is there any on ready? Hearing none, please. proceed.
Slightly, so I understand the program. Program that we're going to adopt is basically for the incoming class. And it's only for 1 year. And then we're gonna look at it to see its effectiveness after that year. But once we grant it, those kids have it before it's tested.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Any other question?
One more question, just on the percentage of the discount, which is, I know yesterday, I think we talked about somewhere around 16%, or we just giving ourselves coverage there?
It's close to 18%.
Okay,
Average close to 18%.
awesome, good.
Yes.
Just one question, should the resolution specify that let me just be clear, you don't want that, just to be clear, that it's for that one, it is a pilot, but just for that graduating class, so like the next year when the incoming class, it doesn't apply to them, right?
That's what it says in the.
Where does it say that?
So at the bottom of the resolution, when you look at it, it says, before further resolved, the administration shall monitor the effectiveness of the pilot program and provide a report to the Board of Trustees with recommendations.
That's not what I'm saying, cause it's only for that one class. That is only for that one class, right?
It says it's for the
For
1
the
year.
For
academic.
1 year,
It's just for that, but it's following that class, right?
yes.
Yes, it is.
Other out-of-state students.
So that's what,
about the other out-of-state students?
It's for the incoming class of this coming year, is who it applies to.
okay,
Only.
And it was follow them throughout their tenure as a Lincoln student.
right. I mean, I'm in favor of all of that. I just wanted to be clear that that's what it is. That's all. I'm not sure that that's what it says. That's all.
That's fine.
I wanted to.
I think I,
Right, he says the program for 26, 27.
Newly
But that's
admitted,
the-
it says
that's the
here,
definition.
it applies to newly admitted out-of-state undergraduate students.
With 26, 27.
That's so, I guess when you read it together, it says newly
Oh.
admitted students.
For that year.
For that.
Yes.
Okay.
year.
That's the
Is
So
there any
that's
other
both
updates?
incoming and transfer.
Okay.
New first-time freshmen and transfer
And
coming in the fall of 26, 27 academic year.
Thank you.
right, I asked this question yesterday, but I don't think we made it publicly yet. What's the dollar, we're gonna have that discount?
Average will be $6,200.
All of, what's our number for room, board, and tuition?
33, approximately 33,000.
Minus $6,200 for out of
Pretty
state.
much, yes.
Thank you.
Any other unread?
That help, well,
It certainly does.
Hearing none, vote
Chair Corbin,
yes.
President Allen,
yes.
Trustee Archie,
Yes.
Trustee Carney Nunez,
Yes.
Trustee Cook,
Yes.
Trustee Dick,
Yes.
Trustee Dunbar is excused, Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Argrove,
Yes.
Trustee Hook,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Jones Clement,
Yes.
Jordan. Yes. Trustee Kirkland is excused, Trustee Coon,
Yes.
Trustee Lancaster. Yes. Trustee Levis,
Yes.
Trustee Lawson,
Yes.
Trustee Lewis, yes, Trustee Love,
Yes.
Trustee Maddox,
Yes.
Trustee May,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson O'Serum,
Yes.
Trustee Parker is excused, Trustee Petty,
Yes.
Trustee Ridley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rochester,
Yes.
Trustee Sebastian is excused, Trustee Simmons. Trustee Simmons,
You may have had to step away.
okay. Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Walker,
Yes.
Motion carried. We'll move next to educational policy and academic affairs.
Good morning, everyone. Oh,
Morning.
okay, we're using the mic. Good morning. The Educational Policy and Academic Affairs Committee convened our meeting at 1:02 p.m. yesterday. We did have a quorum. Some of the highlights from the meeting are the following. Dr. Pia Dees, Provost and Dean of the Faculty, gave a presentation on the Middle States reaccreditation process in which we're currently engaged. She described the Middle States Commission's mission, vision, and values in promoting educational excellence and why accreditation is so important in assessing student learning outcomes and institutional effectiveness. Professor and Provost Dr. Dees engaged us in a discussion of our excellence, our mission, and our strategic priorities. Very importantly, she informed us of the board's role in the reaccreditation process. She reminded us of the responsibilities we have for fiduciary oversight, as well as oversight of the strategic direction, leadership management, policy and compliance, and fundraising. Next fall, we will need to familiarize ourselves with the self-study and be very conversant about Lincoln's mission, strategic plan, bylaws and policies, and preparation for our meeting with the visiting committee in spring 2027. Our meeting concluded at 1:48 p.m. and we do have a resolution.
And we move forward with the resolution.
Yes. The Board of Trustees resolution conferring the title of Professor Emerita. Whereas a retiring faculty member, Dr. Marilyn Button, a professor in the Department of Languages and Literatures, has served with distinction at Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, and has made meaningful contributions in teaching, scholarship, and service. And whereas such service reflects a commitment to the mission and values of Lincoln University. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Lincoln University hereby confers the title of Professor Emerita upon Dr. Marilyn Button, and be it further resolved that the board expresses its sincere appreciation for the individual's dedicated service and contributions to the university.
Thank you. What is your pleasure?
Move its adoption, Mr. Chairman.
Second. It's been moving properly second. Is there any other items? Hearing none, let's move to the vote.
Chair Corbett,
Yes.
President Allen,
Yes.
Trustee Archie,
Yes.
Trustee Carney Nunez,
Yes.
Trustee Cook,
Yes.
Trustee Dick,
Yes.
Trustee Dunbar is excused, Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Hargrove,
Yes.
Trustee Hook,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Jones Clement,
Yes.
Trustee Jordan, I think, left. Trustee Honorable Lydia Kirkland is excused, Trustee Kuhn,
Yes.
Trustee Lancaster,
Yes.
Trustee Levis,
Yes.
Trustee Lawson. Yes. Trustee Lewis, yes. Trustee Love,
Yes.
Trustee Maddox,
Yes.
Trustee May,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson O'Sara,
Yes.
Trustee Parker is excused, Trustee Petty,
Yes.
Trustee Rowe, Trustee Ridley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rochester,
Yes.
Trustee Sebastian is excused, Trustee Simmons, Trustee Vaughn,
Yes.
Trustee Walker,
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, we're gonna take a quick break before trustees will read the nominations because the chair of that committee needs us to take a break. So we'll take a quick break. It's currently 10:19. When we'll come back at 10:30. Thank you all. So we'll pick up where we left off. We'll go with trustees to read the nominations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that's great. The Trustees Degrees and Nominations Committee actually has had several meetings since our last encounter here at the board. Our task was to vet nominees for university trustee seats and alumni association trustee seats on the board. That process included receiving, of course, the nominees and the information to support the nominees and their backgrounds. A vetting process that included members of the TDN committee and members of the board. Thank you all for participating in that process, because each person vetted was about a 1 hour conversation via Zoom. So some people gave a couple of hours, some people gave 6, 7, 8, 9 hours in that process. I was very I'm grateful for that having happened. Because without an informed board and an inclusive board, we're really not a board. So to that extent, Mr. Chairman, we met, our last meeting was on April the 17th at 3:30 p.m. We called to order to discuss our trustee nominees. We had a very long conversation about our process, what we're looking for in terms of talent and experience for the board. We had an excellent group of nominees this go around. Extremely difficult. And that showed in our conversation that people took it very seriously. We had a great deal of potential with the nominees we had in front of us, and we see a great deal of potential with the ones that we're going to finally recommend for action by this board. But we do have to have a further conversation about this. I think we will cover that in executive session, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
We'll come out of the executive session and we will have a recommendation for action.
Okay.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. And one piece that was missed earlier that we want to address, the minutes. You will address that.
The minutes have been distributed to all members. Are there any corrections or changes proposed to the minutes?
Yes, just the addition of my name to the committees, I did attend committee meetings as a guest for those committees that which I do not serve. My name was omitted and it should be included.
That was for the board minutes we're referring to from the last meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Hearing no corrections, the minutes are adopted.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move to the consent agenda. We'll start with buildings and property.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Buildings and Property Committee convened yesterday, 8:46 a.m. with the quorum present. We saw a presentation of the draft 2026 campus master plan presented by the consultants from Sasaki, Greg Havens, and Preservation Design Partnership, Dominique Hawkins. This is a draft plan. We're planning on completing it this fall. So it's likely there might be a resolution at our September meeting put forward for the board's adoption. There was a lot of material there, not a lot of time to cover it. So I would encourage all the board members who got an email Thursday evening with the box link. All the presentations we saw on all the committees, what you saw on the screen is in there for your review. Should you have any questions generally, I certainly can be a resource, but I think if you have specific feedback, please reach out to Yada, the staff liaison to the Buildings and Properties Committee. We then had an abbreviated rest of our agenda update on the status of several projects, including the construction of the new residence hall and ongoing planning and construction of BGS projects on campus. We concluded the meeting at 9:33 a.m.
Thank you. We'll move next to plan development, external affairs.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The Planning and Development and External Affairs Committee met yesterday at 11 a.m. We had a quorum. Here are the highlights of the meeting. At our meeting yesterday, the committee spent a considerable amount of time discussing our primary goal this fiscal year of 10% alumni giving. Harry Stinson, VP of Institutional Advancement, reported as of March 31st, we improved our overall alumni gifts from 588 at the last meeting to 802. However, this is still about 1,000 gifts short of our 1,800 goal, with only 11 weeks left in the fiscal year. As reported at the last board meeting, President Allen and Harry Stinson met with the ALU president and several alumni chapter presidents to have each chapter reach out to alumni in the surrounding areas who have not given. To date, the ALU has been slow in their effort to obtain alumni gifts. To remedy this before the end of the fiscal year, a subcommittee of alumni trustees from this board will strategize on how to help the ALU be more productive. Although our total number of gifts, alumni gifts are well behind our expected goal, the good news is when taking out the large donations of 25 million from Mackenzie Scott and 2 million from Thurgood Marshall Foundation, the overall gifts in dollars are well over last year's pace at 3 million compared to 1.9 million. With the fourth quarter still to go, this has been a great year thus far in fundraising. In closing, the committee understands the importance of the 10% alumni giving goal to support the upcoming $100 million fundraising campaign that would be led by the foundation board. Harry and his team presented several strategies that we believe will allow us to make up the slow start and get to the 10% goal by the end of the fiscal year. The committee will meet frequently to discuss and monitor the progress of the 10% alumni giving to ensure every effort is made to reach this goal before the end of the fiscal year. With no further business, the meeting adjourned at 12 p.m.
Thank you. We'll move to student affairs.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. The Student Affairs Committee met yesterday on Friday, April 17th. And we had a quorum. Thank you, Vice Chair. We had a really wonderful presentation from Vice President for Student Success, Dr. Kimberly Smith, who presented an admissions and enrollment update for the upcoming academic year and shared the 5 strategies that her team is deploying to convert those who have applied and accepted to attend Lincoln in the fall and to actually enroll as future Lions. Student trustee and Student Government Association President Nathan Hargrove provided his final reflections as SGA president, sharing what went very well this year and offered areas that the next SGA executive board might consider strengthening. We will miss you, Trustee Hargrove. We have enjoyed all of your presentations this year, and we wish you the very, very best in your upcoming endeavors.
Thank you.
Uh,
I'm gonna miss you guys too.
The committee adjourned at 2:45 p.m. and that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. And next, we're gonna move to executive session. We will be in executive session and we'll report back out to someone. We'd like people, if they could, stick around in the auxiliary area. We'll come and let you know when the executive session is concluded, so that you have the opportunity to come back in for the rest of the meeting. But at this point, we're gonna move to executive sessions. Probably takes about 5 to 10 minutes. So get a mini break. We'll be discussing legal matters, personnel. There will be legal matters and personnel in executive session. That's why it's not open to the public. But then we will come back out and have some actions after that. So thank you very much. And we're going to ask everyone that's in the room, that's not a board member, to move to, we have a room next door.
There's lots of space out there. Dr. D. Have everybody here.
With my floor.
Make sure everyone's comfortable. Thank you.
Yeah, mini break. Stay close. We'll let you know as soon as we've been moved to executive session.
Will we have breakout rooms for Zoom?
They should be moving us into the same breakout.
Sitting.
It's confidential.
You just have certain.
Wow.
Couple minutes.
Can't let that.
It'll be 2 minutes. Yes.
Got this. Yeah. You must be like that. Don't feed the annex. All right.
Lord.
I thought I read this right here, but then. Exactly. Here you go.
Yeah.
Hear you.
There's a bunch of things like that. And I've mentioned all that. We have
All right, we're back in session. Come in, Chief. Back in session. Okay, before we came out, went to executive session, we had trustee reading nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have originally had on our agenda a potential board action on 2 resolutions related to new trustees on the board. As a result of our discussions in executive session, we dealt with legal and personnel issues. We decided that we are going to table the resolutions and come back before June 30th of this year with a new set of recommendations for trustee vacancies.
Thank you very much.
That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Under new business, there is nothing under, yes.
I have new business, and it's just a quick report. So Walter Chambers, our emeritus trustee, fell back in, I want to say November, just before Thanksgiving, and has been in rehab ever since. He returned home 2 weeks ago. Timed out of rehab, not that it's gotten better, but he's home. And I hope that he can rejoin us at some of these meetings as he gets stronger and able to do some things. But it's been a really long road for him, so if you keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He is very much concerned about LinkedIn and wants to know more about what's going on. It's always available for counsel and just discussion, so.
Thank you for sharing. Any other new business?
Yes, that's one piece of new business. Gonna ask all the board members to please rise, not for me, but please stand. Right up, no. We want to recognize our chair for his recent. Looking at me like.
Years ago.
I know. Easy. Recognize our chair for his recent accomplishment and recognition as being a recipient of the Ted Coleman Award. And we just wanted to give you a small token of our appreciation. Congratulating our chair, whether you slip in, yes. And we just wanted to say we appreciate your leadership, your guidance, little card as well. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
Thank you so much.
And in exchange, we go down to the dealership.
I have to put a plug in. Dr. Allen has Okay, thank you very much. No, this is greatly appreciated. So with you, Matt, and I really appreciate it. And then she's up to some closing remarks before we move to adjournment. I already was going to thank all of the committee chairs, all the vice chairs, and every single member of this board. You all pour so much in to this board. I will have to make a reminder that, we have from June 30 to get to 100% of board giving. So I challenge everybody to do that. And 15 days out, Harry's gonna reach out if necessary, but I know that we'll get there because we've gotten there the last 6 years, 5 years. Also, want to thank all of you that participated on yesterday evening. I thought that was a special time for this board. And, coming up on, and we've already looked at some things. It's interesting, Dr. Rochester looked at the bylaws and everything. And the board chair could actually change the meeting date. If that's the will. And except for the annual meeting. So I talked to Dr. Allen yesterday and kind of shared with her that, people want to get more engaged with the students, with the faculty, and have a presence on the art. We've talked about some days, maybe even cutting some of the committees very short, so we have time to just show our presence on the campus. So we're gonna make some changes going into the next fiscal year. Of course, we have to coordinate it with the administration and Dr. Allen, but we're gonna make some changes. So, your voice was heard. And, I'm one to take a step back and then come back with some type of action. So we're gonna be doing that. But we gotta pull the board because some people, during the weekdays, are tough for some people, so we gotta figure that out. But we're gonna work through that. So more to come on that. And I just want to thank all of you. Trustee Hargrove, we're gonna miss you. And I know we have another event right after this, so I'll see you there. And any board members that can attend that would be greatly appreciated. This new process that you're doing, right?
Yeah, I think it would be really cool if you guys came to like a fried chicken Wednesday or something like that. Like, I think that would be awesome.
Fried chicken.
Yeah, like fried chicken.
Chicken Wednesday, maybe Thursday, and it won't be every single time, but I think we can mix it up a little bit, so it's not inconvenient for the administration. And it's not inconvenient for the board, but we shake it up and make some changes, so I just wanna, from my position to everyone, thank you, it's just an honor and a privilege to chair this board. And it's because of people, if you look around the room, there is so much emotional intelligence, so much compassion for the university. All the things that if one was to draw up what they need, it's right here. It's just right here. So it's greatly appreciated. And I'm gonna share that with the Alumni Association so they understand that, in collaboration, this is a family now. And it's a strong, close-knit unit. And we need to make sure that the people coming in fit into this unit. And that's important. We can't control it 100%, but we certainly can share. So, and then we do have some control over it. So I just want to thank you so much. And with that, I'm gonna ask someone to move for adjournment.
So,
And
second.
being adjourned.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a safe trip.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.